Cisatraurium is a purified stereoisomer of the intermediate-acting, non-depolarizing neuromuscular blocking agent atracurium. In this video, we will review its chemical structure, organ-independent pharmacokinetics, pharmacodynamics, and clinical applications in modern anesthesia practice. The primary objectives of this presentation are to dissect the molecular architecture of Cisatraurium, evaluate its spontaneous chemical degradation pathways, determine standard induction and maintenance dosing regimens, analyze its behavior in compromised patient populations, and establish safe pharmacological reversal criteria. Chemically, like atracurium, Cisatraurium is a benzylisoquinolinium compound featuring two positively charged quaternary ammonium groups linked by two symmetrical ester bonds. Although they share the same atomic connectivity, atracurium is a mixture of 10 different optical and geometric isomers, whereas Cisatraurium is a single specific isomer, the 1R-cis, 1'R-cis stereoisomer, which makes up about 15% of the atracurium mixture. Because Cisatraurium is the most active stereoisomer, it is 3 to 4 times more potent than atracurium as a neuromuscular blocker. As a result, it achieves the same clinical effect at a lower dose and is much less likely to cause histamine release or cardiovascular side effects. However, both Cisatraurium and atracurium share the same organ-independent method of elimination through Hofmann elimination. Cisatraurium exerts its pharmacodynamic effect via competitive antagonism at the postjunctional nicotinic acetylcholine receptors located on the motor endplate. By binding selectively to one or both of the alpha subunits of the glycoprotein complex, it prevents acetylcholine from initiating channel opening, thereby halting endplate depolarization and skeletal muscle contraction. In addition to postjunctional blockade, Cisatraurium competitively binds to presynaptic nicotinic receptors, which prevents the positive feedback mobilization of acetylcholine vesicles during high-frequency nerve stimulation. This presynaptic mechanism manifests clinically as the phenomenon of fade observed during train of 4 and tetanic monitoring. We have already discussed why there is fade to nerve stimulation with non-depolarizing muscle relaxant in our previous videos. Let's review it here a bit. Normally, when a nerve is stimulated repeatedly, presynaptic acetylcholine receptors signal the nerve terminal to release more acetylcholine, ensuring that each muscle contraction remains strong. Non-depolarizing neuromuscular blockers block these presynaptic receptors, preventing the rapid release of additional acetylcholine. As repeated stimulation continues, less acetylcholine is released with each nerve impulse. As a result, each successive muscle twitch becomes progressively weaker, producing the characteristic fade. The metabolism of Cisatraurium is primarily driven by Hofmann elimination, an organ-independent chemical process that occurs spontaneously at physiological temperature and acid-base levels. This degradation pathway accounts for the majority of the drug clearance, breaking the parent molecule down into the metabolites l-adenosine and a monoquaternary acrylate. Because this process is entirely independent of hepatic or renal function, the metabolic rate and elimination profile remain consistent even in patients with end-stage liver or kidney failure. Hofmann elimination is a spontaneous chemical reaction that depends entirely on body temperature and blood pH. When body temperature rises, the chemical breakdown of Cisatraurium accelerates, causing the drug to leave the body faster. Because of this rapid clearance, a patient with a fever will experience a shorter duration of muscle relaxation and may need a higher dose. Conversely, hypothermia slows this chemical reaction down, which delays drug clearance and prolongs muscle paralysis unless the dose is reduced. Blood pH also shifts the reaction because Hofmann elimination is a base-catalyzed process. When the blood becomes more alkaline, the chemical cleavage happens much faster, leading to a quicker recovery of muscle function. On the other hand, an acidic environment inhibits this breakdown, which prevents the body from clearing the medication and leads to prolonged muscle weakness. A minor secondary pathway involves degradation via nonspecific plasma esterases, which break down cisatraurium through a chemical process called ester hydrolysis. During this reaction, the esterase enzymes introduce a water molecule into the drug structure, specifically targeting and breaking its central ester bonds. This enzyme-driven cleavage splits the parent cisatraurium molecule apart into its constituent fragments, yielding laudanosine and a monoquaternary acrylate metabolite. Because these particular enzymes are nonspecific plasma esterases, this entire metabolic process takes place completely independently of both acetylcholinesterase and pseudocholinesterase. It is important to understand laudanosine, a metabolite produced during the Hofmann elimination of both cisatraurium and atracurium. Unlike the parent drugs, laudanosine is a tertiary amine that crosses the blood-brain barrier. At very high concentrations, it may cause neurological excitation, muscle twitching, or seizures. During routine anesthesia, only small amounts of laudanosine are produced, so it has no clinical significance. However, it can accumulate during prolonged continuous infusions, particularly in ICU patients, because it has a longer half-life than the parent drug. Although its formation is organ-independent, it is eliminated mainly by the liver and kidneys, making accumulation more likely in patients with severe hepatic or renal dysfunction. Despite this, cisatraurium remains safer than atracurium. Since it is 3 to 4 times more potent, smaller doses are required, producing much lower levels of laudanosine. As a result, clinically significant neurotoxicity and seizures are extremely rare. The recommended initial dose of cisatraurium mesylate for endotracheal intubation in adults is 0.15 to 0.2 mg per kilogram given as an intravenous bolus calculated using the ideal body weight. This typically provides optimal intubating conditions within 90 to 120 seconds. Neuromuscular blockade is maintained with 0.03 mg per kilogram intravenous boluses administered 40 to 65 minutes after the initial dose or when early spontaneous recovery is detected clinically or with train of 4 monitoring. In the intensive care unit, continuous paralysis can be maintained with an infusion of 1 to 2 micrograms per kilogram per minute titrated using objective train of 4 monitoring. Cisatraurium exhibits an exceptionally stable cardiovascular profile. Unlike aminosteroidal relaxants that may demonstrate vagolytic properties or alternative benzylosoquinolineiums that cause reflex tachycardia, cisatraurium exerts no significant effects on heart rate, mean arterial pressure, cardiac output, or systemic vascular resistance across its entire clinical dosing spectrum. Comparative clinical trials confirm that cisatraurium does not cause dose-dependent histamine release, even when administered as a rapid intravenous bolus at concentrations up to 8 times its ED95. This absence of mast cell degranulation protects the patient from drug-induced cutaneous flushing, systemic hypotension, reflex tachycardia, and bronchospasm. Concomitant administration of volatile inhalational anesthetic significantly potentiates the neuromuscular blockade of cisatraurium. This interaction occurs through a reduction in postjunctional membrane sensitivity to depolarization. The magnitude of potentiation follows the established hierarchy of desflurane exerting the greatest effect, followed by sevoflurane and isoflurane. Several drugs and ions interfere with cisatraurium kinetics by either altering neurotransmitter release or changing receptor density at the neuromuscular junction. Aminoglycoside antibiotics, magnesium, and lithium augment the blockade by blocking presynaptic calcium influx to decrease acetylcholine release, while also stabilizing the postjunctional membrane to lower its sensitivity to depolarization. Conversely, chronic anticonvulsant therapy with phenytoin or carbamazepine induces drug resistance because long-term exposure causes a pharmacodynamic upregulation that creates a surplus of nicotinic receptors, requiring increased dosing frequencies to maintain paralysis. Pharmacological reversal of cisatraurium is achieved using acetylcholinesterase inhibitors, primarily neostigmine. By reversibly binding to acetylcholinesterase, neostigmine preserves endogenous acetylcholine within the synaptic cleft. This increased concentration of neurotransmitters competitively displaces cisatraurium from the nicotinic receptors. Anticholinergic co-administration is mandatory to mitigate systemic muscarinic side effects. In summary, cisatraurium is a benzylisoquinolineium non-depolarizing neuromuscular blocker that undergoes organ-independent Hofmann elimination. Its cardiovascular stability and minimal histamine release make it an ideal choice for patients with renal or hepatic impairment. A standard intubating dose of 0.15 mg per kilogram provides effective muscle relaxation for about 55 minutes, while prolonged paralysis can be maintained with an infusion of 1 to 2 micrograms per kilogram per minute. It also offers predictable recovery with minimal drug accumulation during prolonged intensive care unit use.